Learning multiple languages at the same time is not something I would recommend to the average Joe. But the reality is that I'm doing just that. I started learning 3 languages at the same time. Hi, my name is Luca from Lampariello.com, and today you're going to see how you can learn 1, 2, 3, 4 or more languages every single day. So, the languages I'm learning right now and every single day are Danish, Greek, and Hungarian. There's a specific reason why I've listed these languages in this order. In fact, every single day, I always start by learning the language in which I have the lowest level. In this case, Danish. I just started learning Danish some 3 weeks ago, and I consider myself a beginner. On the other hand, I've been learning Greek for 2 years and Hungarian for almost 3. And I have reached more or less a lower and upper intermediate in these languages. Which means that it takes much less effort for me to learn Greek or Hungarian for that matter than it does Danish. And that's the reason why I do Danish first.
400.000 kroner. Til gengæld kan vi tilbyde byens bedste finansieringsbetingelser. 25% meget fordelagtigt.
Establishing priorities is a crucial factor in learning multiple languages at the same time. Because, as I said before, time. It's not just a matter of time. We tend to use this word to throw this word around. But the truth is, there's 2 factors which are just as important as time, and which are energy and your concentration. And they're all entangled. The reason why I always wake up early in the morning to learn languages is because I know that my energy is at its top in the morning and at its lowest in the evening. So that's the reason why my rule number 1 for learning multiple languages at the same time is actually wake up early and hit the books in the language at its lowest level, which is Danish in this case. Those who've been following me for quite some time know that I love Asimil, which is a small book, a perfect learning resource for beginners. And I'm using that and I'm applying my bidirectional translation technique to it, which requires energy and most of all requires a lot of concentration for at least 30 to 40 minutes. So after spending 30 to 40 minutes learning Danish, I can do a number of things. I normally organize things so that I can do Greek after doing Danish, so that I can actually kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Actually, there's a lot of birds that you can hear here because we're shooting outside. The reason why as I said, I do Greek is because I know it less than I do Hungarian. But the good thing is that I can relax a little bit more because I'm not using Asimil anymore. I still do listen and read at the same time, but sometimes, for example, I talk to my italki teachers. So it's a different thing. I started really enjoying the language. That's the reason why this comes second, is because I know that I have to do it, but I also want to do it because it started being fun. So on a normal day, I set things up so that I can start working around 9 and I dedicate time to learning Danish and then Greek. But sometimes, like today for example, which is filming day, some days are more intense than others. So when I have really intensive days, I try to make sure that at least I take care of the last born of the family. Maybe the other ones a little bit like grown-ups and they can take care of themselves, so to speak. So don't beat yourself up when it comes to learning multiple languages at the same time. If you can't learn 3 languages every single day, that's not the end of the world, as long as you keep learning on a weekly basis. And the first one, the newborn, you should take particular attention to. So, Danish and Greek, possibly in the morning. Well, what about Hungarian? Well, I've tried to do Hungarian after doing Danish and after learning Greek, but I've just realized that after that, I'm not able to work because it's a lot of intense work on languages first thing in the morning. And you know, life gets in the way. I also have to work, give lessons, teach, coaching, writing articles. So I told myself, okay, so 2 languages in the morning when I'm fresh and possibly one language in the evening. I take language courses, language lessons with 2 Hungarian teachers, and I try to talk to them around 1, and I rehearse and I listen to these lessons after taking these lessons, maybe 48 hours later, possibly at night. So I just distinguished the Danish, Greek routine in the morning, and then Hungarian in the evening. On top of that, I'm also using a magazine which is called Magyarul Tanulok. And the reason why my routine with Hungarian is even more relaxed is because, again, I think I have an upper intermediate level, so I can be even more relaxed. And what I normally do to keep my Hungarian going and motivate myself is to, get to go to Hungary on and off. I'm going to Hungary in a little bit. So that's more or less how I organize every single day. One thing that I've been doing for years, and it really works wonders, is to keep a logbook. I open the Google Doc, and at the end of each learning session, I make sure that I go to the logbook and I write exactly the date, what I did, and how long it took me. Now, for this specific project, I've created a logbook which includes all 3 languages. So every single day, at the end of the day, I just copy each entry and I transfer them into the general logbook so that I can get a clear picture of what I'm doing every single day for these 3 languages. So the trick here is that if every day, at the end of a learning session, you put your entry and then you transfer all these entries into the big logbook, you will see the progress that you're making not in 1, not in 2, but in 3 languages. And that's an amazing feeling, just as the feeling that a climber has when, halfway he looks back and sees the path that he's covered. That's amazing. That's amazing for your motivation, because you always have to remember, and I can't stress this enough, that language learning is a marathon, and learning 3 languages at the same time is like, running 3 marathons at the same time. You better keep track of where you're going and how much track you've covered. So, to wrap up, first, it's really important to establish priorities. I don't recommend normally to learn 3 languages at the same time, but if these 3 languages, 2 or 3 languages, are at different levels, that's fine. Point number 2 is that it's really important not only to organize your time, but to organize your energy and your concentration. And third, make sure that you keep accurate track of your progress. Do keep one single logbook for each language, but also make sure that you have a bigger logbook where you can see the entire framework and the entire picture that you are drawing for your future. So, if you've enjoyed the video, please share it around. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click on the link below, because there's an amazing article waiting for you with a big surprise. For the first time, I've decided to publish my Google Doc where I'm writing each and every single day what I do with these 3 languages. So you can see every single day you have free access to what I do with comments and tips and considerations and observations that are right there every single day. Enjoy.